This is KGW News at 5.
Welcome to KGW News at 5. We begin this evening with new details on a shooting that happened Monday outside of Cleveland High School that left one teen injured. Investigators say the incident was not a random act.
Not just an individual victim problem. This is a community-wide problem, and we have to strengthen the laws.
The Family Justice Center of Washington County is reporting a 20-year high in domestic violence locally. Advocates are pushing for increased protections ahead of Oregon's upcoming 2023 legislative session. A group is being tasked by the city of Portland to purposely tag buildings with graffiti downtown. They're calling it a preventative measure. That's our top story this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christelle Kumwe. You don't have to go far in Portland to find buildings, walls, and signs covered in graffiti. It's certainly nothing new. State and local leaders have poured money into cleanup efforts this year. But what is new is how some hired crews are handling it. Alma McCarty has the story.
Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Or in this case, graffiti with graffiti in downtown Portland.
Well, I wouldn't really call it tagging buildings, but we are cleaning them up. Usually we have the property owner knows that we're doing it. We're putting something up there that, sparks a little bit of conversation.
And they're not just a conversation starter. The stenciled designs
We have the PDX rose, two Sasquatches holding a salmon.
are proving to be an effective tactic to ward off vandals.
Well, I've been in business here in Portland about 10 years, and really like murals in town, right? If you put a mural up, they have a little bit of a code of ethic that they won't hurt the mural, they don't tag the mural.
Paul Watts is the owner and operator of Graffiti Removal Services. Over the past couple of years, he says he's personally seen it get worse.
A lot of the plywood in the buildings that are boarded up, they kind of invite graffiti a little bit, especially the plywood. So we're going around, we're painting the plywood a couple different colors, painting over the graffiti, and then adding kind of a holiday touch to it with a couple stencils that we've made up to kind of hopefully detract the graffiti a little bit.
Watt's team, contracted by the city, responds to cleanup calls, focusing here downtown as well as the Central East Side.
We're now expanding it all over, so every neighborhood, every business association, everywhere in the city will see us out there eventually. The crew and I kind of dubbed it the Rose City Rebound Plan.
And the Rose City Rebound Plan has a proactive component.
So I have people out there walking the city daily, going out there, finding the graffiti, reporting it back to us, and then we go out and remove it and clean it before anybody calls.
Cleanup with a special city-sanctioned touch.
We're part of getting the city back. We're proud of the city. We want to make sure it's vibrant, it's alive. We're going to keep on it. We're going to keep going with it as long as the city, is backing us, which they have, tremendously, and they keep coming up with new ideas and new plans. We're going to keep doing it.
Now, although there's been a high volume of calls, if you do see graffiti, you can easily report it online on the City of Portland's website. After submitting that complaint, workers will determine if the graffiti tag is within their scope of work to remove. We'll have an application, or a link to the application, I should say, on kgw.com. Christelle?
Thanks, Alma. Portland police are investigating a shooting that happened just around 2:30 this afternoon on North Oberlin Street in Portland. There are very few details, but here's what we know so far. The victim rode his bike to Portland Fire and Rescue Station 26 for help. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have so far been made. We're learning more details about a shooting that happened earlier this week outside of Cleveland High School in Southeast Portland. Police say it was not a random act. The shooting happened on Monday around 12:30 in the afternoon. A 16-year-old student was shot but is doing okay. The school was immediately put in lockdown. Based on the investigation so far, detectives confirmed the incident was not a random act. Those involved in the shooting have been identified, but no one has so far been arrested. The school was not the target of the shooting, but a safety plan is set up through the school security system. Now to some startling statistics when it comes to domestic abuse in Oregon. 40% of women and 36% of men experience domestic violence. Advocates are working to create more protections and help the cycle of violence. First, they hope to make fixes to Senate Bill 48. It's a new law that deals with the pre-trial release, moving Oregon away from a bail-based system to instead consider a suspect's potential threat to the community. There's also a legislative concept relating to spousal support or alimony.
It would allow a court to consider evidence of abuse when they determine the amount of spousal support that someone will get.
Advocates are also requesting that lawmakers add strangulation exams to be covered by the state's Crime Victims Compensation Fund. Right now, survivors have to foot the bill for these exams. Portland police are investigating a rollover crash in southeast Portland earlier this morning. It happened on 148th Avenue in the Centennial neighborhood. Portland Fire and Rescue had to pull the driver out of the vehicle. The driver was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information about this crash is asked to contact police. 13 people are displaced evening after a fire broke out in Vancouver at an apartment complex. Vancouver Fire received a call at 6:30 this morning on Northeast 62nd Avenue. Firefighters say they found an elderly woman lying in her bed in the apartment where the fire started. They quickly moved her to safety and was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. No word yet on what started the fire, and temporary housing has been provided to those displaced residents. Also in Vancouver, a homeowner shot and killed a man who broke into their home. This was on Thursday night in the area of Northeast 157th and 28th. Police say the burglar broke into the second floor window. They used a parked car to boost themselves up. The homeowner confronted the person and shot them. The suspect died. Police say it appears the burglary was random. Nobody other than the suspect was hurt. Now, the United States Postal Service needs your help in finding whomever stole collection boxes in Northeast Portland. USPS said they were stolen on December 1st at the Park Rose Post Office on Northeast 122nd Avenue. No word on the description of the person who may have done this, and they haven't told us why they believe it was stolen in the first place. The USPS said this is an ongoing investigation. All right, moving on to some sports news. The Oregon State Beavers are bowl game champs. Fans were celebrating the big win at Spirit 77 in Northeast Portland today. The Bees won 30-3 against the Florida Gators at the Las Vegas Bowl today. It's actually their first bowl game win in nearly a decade, and of course, the first ever matchup between Oregon State and Florida. Go Beavs!